Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent. A goal joining you from Villa Park. I've just about got my breath back after that. What a game, what drama, what a win for Arsenal, what a win. I mean, what it could do for the remainder of the season, we'll have to wait and see. But it just felt like a huge game, a huge win for Arsenal, given the circumstances, given the form that they've come into it under, given the fact they were knocked off top spot by Manchester City after that defeat at the Emirates in midweek. It just felt like a game Arsenal had to win, and they have found a way to do it in the most dramatic of circumstances. The scenes just over there in the away end at full time, I'm sure were replicated all around the world with you Arsenal fans, wherever you are watching it in your living rooms. I bet you're all going absolutely mad in those last few dramatic stoppage time minutes. It looked like Arsenal were going to drop more points. Twice they were behind, twice they came back from behind, but as we entered 6 minutes of stoppage time, it was still 2-2. It looked like Arsenal were going to drop points again. It looked like they were going to go 4 games without winning the Premier League. But then Jorginho, of all people, hit a stunning effort that crashed against the bar, came back, hit Emi Martinez and went in. Own goal by Martinez. 3-2 Arsenal. Mental, crazy, chaotic scenes in the press, in the away end with the celebrations. There was still a bit of time to go. Obviously Villa ended up getting a corner. Martinez went up to the corner to try and atone for his own goal. Arsenal cleared. Fabio Vieira showed a lot of composure, slipped in Martinelli up. Martinelli ran away and scored into the empty net. 4-2, game over. Just drama at its best, the Premier League at its best, and just a huge win for Arsenal. It really was. It's tough to describe it, and whether it ends up being a sort of turning point in terms of the season, in terms of the title race, we'll have to wait and see. But this coming here today, you just felt like the form that Arsenal have been in, the run that they've been on, the fact that they weren't top of the table anymore, the fact that Manchester City had beat them on Wednesday night, the fact that that was Wednesday night and this was a Saturday lunchtime kickoff. There was just loads of things against Arsenal going into this one that you thought, are they going to be able to respond? Do they have it in them to respond? Have they got the energy to respond? And then twice they went behind and, trailing 2-1 at half time. It just felt like a game that was drifting away, and a title race that was drifting away, and they've somehow dragged themselves back into it. They found a way to respond. They carried on going, and they deserved it in the end because they were a better team in the second half by a mile. They weren't great in the first half by any means. I mean, Villa scored their only 2 shots on target, so it wasn't like Villa were miles better than them or anything, but Arsenal weren't great. They were a bit scrappy. Their confidence was down. And they conceded 2 really soft goals from Villa. They were well taken by Villa, but they were soft. I thought Saliba was poor for the first goal. Zinchenko gave it away as well. And then the second goal was a really nice move by Villa, but Arsenal let them get down the left too easily. And Coutinho finished it off. And it went in at half-time and you just felt everything's going against Arsenal. The 2 shots they've conceded, that they conceded goals from, and it just didn't. There wasn't any real signs there was going to be a bit of a fight back, but Arteta sent them out. They came out a couple of minutes early after the half-time interval. Arteta clearly gave them a bit of a going over the team talk, which he admitted in the press conference afterwards. I'll read some quotes from Arteta in a minute. And they sent them out early, and they definitely responded. The second half was miles better. Zinchenko struggled in the first half, scored the equaliser, and then it just felt like Arsenal, if someone was going to win it, it felt like it was going to be Arsenal. Although, having said that, only a brilliant save from Ramsdale stopped Bailey making it 3-2 about 10 minutes from time. But Arsenal kept trying, they kept pushing, they kept going for the winner. Odegaard missed an absolute sitter. There will be no one more relieved than Odegaard today that Arsenal got that win in the end, because the chance he missed, wow, it was bad. Nketiah missed another good chance as well. But then, as I said, Jorginho, what a strike. And I thought Jorginho was great during the game. He was Arsenal's best player, really, I thought. And then to pull out a strike like that, I mean, granted, it wasn't going to go in because it hit the bar and came down on the wrong side of the line, but it hit Martinez and went in, and then Martinelli went and sealed it. And speaking of Arteta afterwards, he said, look, it's difficult now to describe my emotions because it's been a roller coaster, and it was very emotional at the end. I think we showed a lot of resilience, character and quality. He then went on to say, to discuss kind of how, sorry, I just caught my Unai Emery's just walked past. He's like the only person here, just seen him walking past, heading home. He'll be a disappointed man today. And yeah, then Arteta carried on. He said that we altered a few things at half time and produced a very strong performance. What he talked about, what he said to them at half time, he said we had some difficult moments collectively and individually, and we brought the level right down. At half-time, we said the moment is now. We have to raise the individual level. We have to look each other in the face if we want to come out and win this game, because we can. And they obviously went out and delivered that. He spoke a lot about other stuff, praised Jorginho. He talked about Saka, who got an absolute kick in at times today. How he stayed on the pitch, I'll never know, because he clearly wasn't fit, taking an absolute kick in from some of the Villa players, but he stayed on the pitch, carried on. He spoke about that and the need to protect players, and lots of other stuff. Interestingly, right here in the press box, there was a fight, probably what I'd call it a fight, a scuffle, or flare-up, whatever you want to call it, between a member of Unai Emery's coaching staff and Mikel Arteta's coaching staff. There's Miguel Molina, who's like on the coaching staff at Arsenal. He was involved with someone, part of Emery's staff, and it was just after Jorginho's goal. Molina celebrated it really wildly, celebrated the goal, and the Villa guy came charging down, wasn't happy. It all really kicked off. Ended up the Arsenal guy being taken out, and I've never seen that before in the press box in my life. 2 coaching staff having a bit of a flare-up, but just added to the drama of what has been a pretty amazing day here at Villa Park. So much to like. If you go over to goal right now, you'll find I've got my player ratings on there. I'll talk about player ratings as well in this, but I'll put them up there as well. I've got winners and losers up there from today's performance. I've got reaction from Mikel Arteta from the press conference and from the fight in the press box. There's loads going on, so head over to goal.com after this and check out everything. You find some of the links to my stuff on my Twitter as well. Okay, so let's quickly go over player ratings, shall we, from this one. It was a weird one because I didn't think Arsenal were great by any means, but still some people stepped up to make real big impacts in the game. Aaron Ramsdale, for example, didn't have much to do. Both goals in the first half came from their only shots on target. He couldn't really do anything with either of them. I thought they were very good finishes from Watkins and from Coutinho. But Ramsdale, a huge moment in that second half when Leon Bailey broke. Brilliant touch from Bailey, raced away, drove a really powerful shot, and Ramsdale just got fingertips on it and pushed it onto the bar, and that kept it at 2-2, and that allowed Arsenal to go on and win the game. So a really massive moment there from Ramsdale, who didn't have anything to do in the second half, but he stayed alert, and at the big moment he made the save. So fair play to him. I gave him a 7 out of 10. Ben White, I thought, played really well, especially in the second half, back in the side. It wasn't great in the first half, but second half particularly, I thought Ben White came really on and played well. So I give Ben White a 7. Saliba and Gabriel I both gave 6s too. I thought they looked nervy at times, those two. They're not at the top of their game. I thought Saliba, for the first goal, he backed off Ollie Watkins. He didn't need to. He should have engaged him higher up the pitch, but as soon as he let Watkins run at him and get into the box, he was just asking for trouble. It was a good finish by Watkins, but I just don't think Saliba should have allowed him to get that close to the goal. He should have engaged him far higher up the pitch rather than backing off the way he did. So I gave both Saliba and Gabriel a 6. I gave Zinchenko a 6. He had a really poor first half, Zinchenko, but to his credit, he really improved in the second half. He got the crucial equaliser, his first goal for the club, and played much, much better. It kind of summed up the Arsenal performance, really, with Zinchenko. Poor in the first half, much, much better in the second. So I give Zinchenko a 6 as well. He was on for a low score until the second half, believe me. Jorginho, I've given him man of the match. Got 8 out of 10 I've given him. For him, it was a 7 until he scored his goal. Well, until he had the shot that led to the goal anyway, but I thought that was such a key moment that you get an extra point. So I'm going to give Jorginho an 8. I thought he was really tidy in possession, played well, and then crucial moment there, stepped up when he needed to. So he gets an 8. Granit Xhaka I gave a 6, just not in the best of forms at the moment. Granit worked hard. I mean, you could see he was really driving the team on in the second half, Granit, but he's just not performing at the same level he was during the first half of the season at the moment, which isn't understandable. He gets a 6. Odegaard had a 20-minute spell at the beginning of the second half, and Odegaard was absolutely brilliant. Villa couldn't get near him. He was doing some lovely stuff. Got the assist for Zinchenko's goal. But other than that, it was quite a quiet performance from Odegaard. And the miss, I mean, you've all seen it, I'm sure. It was just so bad. And like I said, there'll be no one more relieved than Martin Odegaard tonight that Arsenal went on and won that game, because it was a horror moment. It would have been giving him nightmares had Arsenal not won this game. So Xhaka I gave a 6. Odegaard I gave a 6. In attack, I gave Bukayo Saka a 7. I mean, he was kicked all over the pitch. He was limping for the pretty much entire game. I thought he was going to have to come off at one point. He didn't. He stayed on. Fair play to him. Still always looked Arsenal's most threatening player when on the ball. So I gave him a 7. And then the two, Eddie Nketiah and Trossard, I gave them both 4. Thought Eddie just, and again, it wasn't a great night for Eddie. He missed a good chance at 2-2. He took a poor touch that forced him wide, and then he got his finish wrong. Had one header, who I thought was a good header actually, that hit the bar. Got up well to it, but just his touch was off. He just looks, he's a bit short on confidence at the moment, Eddie. I think his confidence has been hit in the last couple of weeks. Gave him a 4. Trossard I gave a 4. He just didn't really have an impact. Improved slightly in the second half, but not really the impact he would have been wanting on his first Arsenal start. Lots of subs came on. Vieira, like I said, played a key part in the 4th goal, so I gave him a 6, even though he was on for a few minutes, but it was a really key part and he showed good composure. Gabriel Martinelli I gave a 7 because I thought he made a massive difference. He scored the 4th goal, but it just immediately came on. He was direct, he ran at Villa, he caused them lots of problems. I thought it was a really good impact from Martinelli, which is exactly what you want from your substitutes. So I gave him a 7, fair play to him. Tomiyasu came on, Tierney came on and hold him. Tomiyasu gave fresh legs down the right because White was beginning to get tired. I didn't even give the last 2, Tierney and Holding, any marks because they came on literally in the final minute. So that's it, player ratings wise, and that's it from Villa Park. What a game, what a win, what drama. The Premier League, football, you just can't live without it. Have a great rest of the weekend, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.